Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Jordan Araya. If you couldn't tell by the title of today's video, it is a story time. I'm gonna get myself in trouble for telling this story time. So y'all better run this shit up because I'm gonna get, why do I have this on? I'm gonna get myself in some shit, I already know that. But I was like, I wanna go back to telling the story times that I like to tell and that I know everybody likes to watch. Okay, I had to move that up a little bit because I don't like how it looked. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna get myself in trouble for telling this story, probably from multiple parties. So y'all really better run this shit up. But okay, as you can tell, this is about to be a story about the worst dick I ever had. Like, horrible. So not a lot of people believe me, but I don't have a lot of bodies. Not that that matters, but it just matters in the context of this story. So the main person I've ever had sex with has like a really big, a really big dick. Let's just get that out of the way. So I honestly didn't really think that, like, well, I know people have small penises, but I didn't think that it was gonna be like, let's just get into this story. Okay, so the guy that this story is about, I haven't known who he was probably since I was like 15. Like, he was a really popular person in my city, and I always thought he was pretty, like, cute, like, whatever. I have only seen him a few times, but I always knew who he was, and he was really popular, and I thought he was cute, but I didn't think that I was the baddest bitch when I was 15. Well, not for him. Like, I definitely didn't think I was his type, so I never, like, made a move on him or anything, and I was always dating people, girls, boys, doing, like, whatever, so it just kind of never aligned, and I honestly forgot about him for a really long time until last year. I followed him on Instagram, or he followed me. Somehow we began following each other on Instagram. And he texted me one day, like, set up my story type shit. So I replied back, whatever. Nothing really came of it until I was not in a relationship. I was not in a relationship anymore. And he hit me on, like, some, like, hey, like, let's hang out. Like, you're cute. And I'm like, like, I guess I need to get my fucking mind off this bullshit, like, whatever. So we ended up hanging out, and nothing, like, really, like, well, we, like, kissed, but, like, nothing really transpired when we hung out this first time. He, like, touched me, we kissed, whatever. But, like, it was really nothing. And if you know me, I'm not one of those people that's, like, gonna take fucking 50 million times to kiss you or something like that. So we kissed, whatever. Wasn't anything, like, special. But then I got back with my boo. So I was like, okay, fuck you. Like, I'm not even fucking with you. So I just, like, stopped talking to him completely. Like, unfollowed him on Instagram, everything. But then things fizzled out between me and old boy again. So I was like, okay, now what? Like, I'm sad as fuck. I'm heartbroken at this point. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do. And around that same time, old boy hits me up again. And he's like, hey, I'm, like, in town. Like, what to do? And I'm like, you're in town? Because he hadn't been, like, in town. So I was like, okay, like, what are you trying to do? Talking about what am I trying to do? So we end up deciding that, like, we're gonna hang out, whatever. He asked me if I will come over and help him unpack his stuff. And I was like, I guess. Like, I don't know. I didn't really, like, take that as a very flirtatious thing. I honestly thought it was kind of, like, strange. You're gonna ask me, like, I haven't seen you in X amount of months, and you're gonna be like, oh, come over and unpack my stuff. So I'm like, I guess, like, whatever. And keep in mind, at this time, I'm heartbroken, bitch. Like, it's literally not even funny. Like, shitting, crying, and throwing up heartbroken. Like, I wanted anything that would take my mind off the situation because I just felt horrible and, like, super unwanted. And I'm like, okay, I feel like super unwanted. The love of my life hates me, and then I have this boy over here. I need to give him a name. We're gonna call him fucking Candle. I have Candle over here trying to, like, hang out with me, and he was telling me that I was so pretty, like, blah blah blah, which is like, boys say anything to get in your pants, but I'm like, whatever, like, whatever. So we text or whatever, and then I end up, like, going over to his house one night, like, super late, and I'm not even the kind of bitch that likes to go out late. I fucking hate going out late at night. So I go to his house late, and I really unpacked this boy's shit. Like, we were just talking, the conversation was good. like on some friendly shit. And I felt like, okay, I'm not really expecting anything to happen tonight, because we were really having a friendly conversation as if this was like my homeboy, because he was telling me about how his time, I almost said where the fuck he was at. He was telling me about his time out of town, and he was like, oh, how have you been? Like trying to catch up on my life or whatever. So we're just like chilling, friendly conversation, whatever. I'm putting his stuff away. He was low-key kind of aggravating me because he's kind of like aggressive. So he would like come up to me and be like, and I'm like, he's like, I'm just kidding, I'm playing with you. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because I only like that aggressive shit from the love of my life. I don't want that shit from like some random ass fucking person. But anyway, so I'm putting his clothes away, whatever. We finish and we're just still sitting down talking, and he's like, oh, do you want to like watch this movie? And I'm like, yeah, like let's watch a movie. I love watching movies. I'm a sucker for a movie, but still I'm not really expecting anything to happen because like the lights are still on, we're chilling. I'm sitting up like on the bed, like I'm not even laying down, like I'm not expecting anything to happen. So we're watching the movie. We watch like 75% of the movie, and he starts like talking to me, and he starts like trying to put a chain on me, and I'm like fighting at like this point because I'm like, I don't want to put this fucking chain on. I don't know, it was a Buddha chain, and I'm not Buddhist, so I was like, I don't want to put this on. Like, that's just me personally. You're not Buddhist. I don't know why you have it. I'm not Buddhist. I don't want to put it on. Which I know you can like have like Buddhist stuff even if you're not Buddhist, because you're just like paying respect, or that's what I've seen people say. But I just personally, like, I'm not Buddhist. I don't want to fucking put it on. So I'm like, no. And he's like, literally we're fighting for like 10 minutes about a fucking chain. He's like trying to put it on me, and I'm like, bro, I'm not Buddhist. Like, I don't want to put this shit on. So he finally just gets it on me after like 10 minutes, and he's like, you look so pretty, da, da, da. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I was really aggravated at that point because I felt like he was just being like super aggressive with me, because I'm like, why the fuck are you trying to force this fucking chain on me? So at this point, it's hella late at night. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, probably like 1, 2 o'clock. No, it had to be like 3 o'clock, because I went over there super late at like 12. So I had to be like 3 o'clock in the morning at this point, and I'm getting tired. So I'm like leaning against like the pillow like that, da da da. And then he asked me if I had, this is so fucking corny. He asked me if I had Aquaphor or like Vaseline. And I was like, no, I don't have Vaseline, I have Aquaphor. He's like, oh, can I have some? So I'm like reaching to go get some from my bag, and he was like, so we start kissing, whatever. And I was just like, in like the moment, I was just like thinking in my head, like, what the fuck am I doing? Because I went over there because I was sad. Hey, he was like, come and help me unpack. I'm sad as fuck, like, whatever. I didn't expect, like, anything to happen. So in my head, like, I didn't expect anything to happen. Obviously, it was a possibility because we had kissed before, but we had just, like, kissed, and he, like, touched me. But it wasn't, like, no, like, we're about to fuck type shit. So I wasn't even, like, expecting anything. So I'm, like, kissing, and I was just, like, thinking in my head, like, bitch, I'm sad as hell. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I was just, like, out of it. So I'm just, like, kissing, whatever. And he starts touching me, and I'm just like, and his hands were super sweaty, like grossing me out sweaty. So I'm like, ew. Okay. So he's doing that, whatever. And in my mind, I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? So he like rolls on top of me, and he like puts on a condom, and I like reached down to feel it because I hadn't even like fucking seen it at this point. Like, are you circumcised? Are you uncircumcised? Like, what the, like, what's going on here? So I reached out to feel it, and when I tell you guys, it was literally this big. And I'm not shaming anybody's penis. This is just me telling my experience. I am used to a pretty big cock-a-doodle-doo. I'm used to a pretty big one. So I was just like, huh, okay. Like, literally like this big. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's because the fan is on. Like, genuinely, I'm like, okay, this has to be because the fan is on, because there's no fucking way in the world. Because like I said, he's a popular ass dude. And he's told me he's fucked so many girls, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm the type to be like, how many people have you fucked? I just want to know those things. So he told me he's fucked so many people. And what's crazy is, before this, when I told my friend, because I was like, it's just like a disgusting amount. Like, it's just a lot of people. So I told my friend, she's like, he's probably fucked how many people because he can't fuck nobody twice. And we just laughed about it, and we just didn't talk about it. So I'm like, do you want to turn the fan off? Like, it's really cold. Like, I'm cold. He's like, yeah, like my dick is going soft. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's what's going on here. He's going soft because this cannot be. So he gets up and he like turns the fan off and he comes back. And by this time, this was like in between 5 seconds. And by this time, I'm just like, what am I doing? And I don't want to make it seem like, oh, like I was pressured or anything. Like that's definitely not the case. I was just like acting out of hurt and anger, and I was just making some real rash decisions looking back. So during this, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like everything was just happening so fast. Like I feel like I'm telling this story so slowly, but everything was happening fast as fuck. So he starts going, and when I tell you, I didn't feel a goddamn thing. Like I felt more when he was like fingering me. I was like, what the fuck? Like I didn't feel anything. So I'm like faking moaning. I'm like, like I'm thinking in my head the whole time, like, I just want this to be over. I just want this to be over. I just want this to be over. Because I was just like, I'm not enjoying this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I miss the love of my life. What the fuck is going on? And I was honestly like sad. Like I already had felt sad. So I'm just like, wow, this is making me upset. Because I really didn't even have to, like, I don't even know how this happened. I didn't even have to go, like, I didn't have to do this. Like, what? So I'm just like, what the fuck? So it's happening, whatever, and he's talking like in my ear, but he's like not, and I like being talked to. But he's like, oh, it feels so good. Can't feel anything, have a condom on. He's like, this shit's so fi. What? Like he literally said in my ear, this shit's so fi. Excuse me? Like, when I tell you that one really appalled me, I just fake moaned over it because I'm like, please, God, just let this be over with. So he's going, he like pulls back, but he's still like laying on top of me, but he pulls back, so his like little thing falls out, I guess. And he just like puts his head on my shoulder and he's like, I'm done. And I was just like, when I tell you I was literally at a loss for fucking words, I was like, so I tried to like push him off and he's like, oh, don't do that, like it hurts. And I'm like, sorry, can you please move so I can put my pants on and go to the bathroom? Like I was so monotone at this point. Like I'm just disgusted with myself. I hate you. I hate the situation. I wanted to get the fuck out of there. Like I said, I don't want to make it seem like I was pressured into doing anything. Like I'm an adult. That is not what happened. I could have said like, oh, I don't want to do that. Da, da, da. It just all happened so fast and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So I don't want to make it seem like no crazy shit happened, because that's not the case. Please don't try to make that the case. That's not what happened. I acted on a rash impulse, and I really wish I didn't. But anyway, so he's like, do you want to go again? And I was like, maybe later. Fuck no, I don't want to go again. But I was like, maybe later, just like because I didn't want to be like rude. So I'm like, maybe later. So he moves. I'm like, where are my pants at? So I find my pants, I put my pants on, and I grab my phone. And I go to the bathroom, I go pee, I'm on the toilet, I literally called my homegirl, and I'm like, like I'm crying ever so softly, because I didn't know, like, I'm a weird bitch. Like, what if he was at the fucking door listening to me? And I'm like, I was like, I hate myself. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm gonna call you when I leave. Like, I just literally felt like so, like, ew, because I didn't enjoy it. I felt like I acted off like hurt and anger, like, because like I said, I keep saying I didn't expect for that to happen, but the fact that I did, I was just like, ew, like, ugh, that's just really not like my vibe right now. So I just like, I was in a very vulnerable place, and that didn't like help my hurt at all. Like it was just not a good choice. So I get up, I go back to the room, he goes to the bathroom, and I'm sitting on the bed. And I'm trying to be like kind, and keep in mind, the sex was like 2 minutes. Like, thank God, but also like, wow. Thank God, because it was so horrible and I was literally like praying for it to be over. But I was just like, ew. So anyway, he comes back in the room and I'm like on my phone, like I'm texting my friend being like, this was so fucking like, this was such a bad like choice. Like I felt so stupid, like I want to go home, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like sitting there trying to like think of like, how am I going to say that I'm about to leave? So I'm like, oh, I'm about to like go. He's like, you don't want to spend the night? And I'm like, no. I was like, I don't know if I had work in the morning. I don't know if I had work in the morning, but I told him I had something to do in the morning. I was like, I have something to do in the morning and I need to go to CVS. He's like, why do you need to go to CVS? And I was like, I'm gonna get like a suppository. He's like, what's that? I'm like, probably like to help my pH balance, because I'm 99% sure this is gonna throw it off. Like I have been fucking the same person for like a year. So I'm like, this is not gonna my vagina is gonna be so confused and angry. Like, I just need to go get like a suppository or something. So he's like, okay, I get it. Like, I fuck with you. You're so clean. And I'm just like, yep. Like, so he walks me to my car. I get in my car. I literally called my older sister, because at this point my friend like was asleep, and it was like, this was like in the course of like 10 minutes, but like it's hella late at night or early in the morning, so my homegirl was asleep. So I called my older sister, and I'm just like, like, I just felt so like, I guess disappointed in myself, because I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? So I called my sister, and I'm just like, bitch, that was the worst experience of my fuck ass life. And she's like, you know, it's okay. Like, you were young. You acted out of anger. Like, I'm sorry that, like, you didn't have a good experience. And she's like, but, like, it's okay. And I'm just like, but is it? And she's like, yes, like, it's fine. You're young. You can make mistakes. Like, it's fine. And I'm just like, wow. So I go into fucking, like, CVS. I get the suppository. And I just sit in my car after. And I'm just like, what the fuck did I just do? So I go home. I take a shower, and I just like, in the shower, I just stood there like this for like a cool like 10 minutes, just like under the hot ass water, like letting it hit me. I like washed my hair. I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I'm still processing it, because I was just like, did I really just like, I really did. Like, just trying to process it, because the experience itself was just so fucking bad, and I was just acting out of hurt. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Like, I was like in such a sad like mindset, and I was just so vulnerable, and that just like didn't help at all. And I was just like telling my older sister, like, I'm texting her, I'm like, I just wish I didn't even go over there. Like, that was just like such a mistake. And she's like, did you even expect like that to happen? And I was like, no, like, I don't know what I expected to happen. Like, I went over there to help put shit away, which I know somebody's gonna like watch this and be like, you went over there to help put stuff away? Like, yes, I did. Like, I really, it was just, Anyway, so yeah. And then after that, I just was like depressed, like so fucking sad. Like, I felt so bad about myself, because I was just like, wow, it's one thing to be so sad and to like give your body away when you're vulnerable, but it's another thing for it to be like horrible as well. Wow. Double fucking homicide. Like, it was horrible. So yeah, that's my experience about the worst dick ever, and how I just, ew. Like, I just can't even stress it enough. Like, ew, no hate to anybody, no hate to the person, but I personally just didn't enjoy it. And like I said, I don't want to make it seem like there's anything wrong with having a small penis, because if you have a small penis but you know how to use it, that's one thing. He had a small penis and didn't know how to use it. So maybe it's not even about the boat, but the motion in the ocean, but that boat and the motion was just horrible. But yeah, guys, like I said, I'm gonna get some shit for this story time, I guarantee it. So please like it, share, comment, subscribe, please. But yeah, I love you guys. Bye.